Grand Slam tour for the All Blacks starts in USA, Chicago at Soldier Field up against Ireland, where Ireland have the fond memories here. The last time these two teams played in Chicago at Soldier Field was back in 2016, where Ireland won their first ever game over the All Blacks after 111 years playing against each other. That is a wild stat. Pressure is on Razor and the All Blacks from the jump. Grand Slam tour, obviously, expectations really high. Here's my predicted All Blacks team to take on Ireland. As always, jump in the comments. What changes would you make? Who would you bring in? Who would you leave out? Why would you bring those guys in? It's easy to just say, I would swap this guy out for this guy. But give me some reason, like why? Let's have a conversation. Let's have a debate about it. And if you don't know already, my name is Dane. I am the host of Kick on Rugby. Going to be covering everything Autumn Nation series, or as much as I possibly can. As always, hit that subscribe, like, comment, jump in, share it with your mates. I do have the goal of hitting 10,000 subscribers by the end of this year. We've just ticked over 9,000. Let's do it. Share it with your mates. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. Let's get straight into it. So my All Blacks team to take on Ireland. Again, this is not the official side. This is my predicted side. Jump in the comments. What changes would you make? All those lovely things. Tamati Williams, Fletcher Newell, Cody Taylor up front. Scott Barrett, Fabian Holland. Scott Barrett, captain. Simon Parker, Ardie Savia, Wallace Atiti, back row. Cam Roigard, Damien McKenzie, 9 and 10. Then Geordie Barrett, Quinn Tupaia in the centres, and back three of Leicester, Fine Ganuku, Leroy Carter, Will Jordan. On the bench, I've got Tokiaho, Ethan de Groot, and Pasilio Tossi. Then Sam Darry, Duplessis Karifi, Cortez Ratima, Bowden Barrett, and Rico Ioane. Very, very strong squad. Not too many disruptions. I don't see Razor making drastic changes. Again, it's a Grand Slam tour. Obviously, every team wants to win, but you don't get Grand Slam tours don't come around often. So when you get that opportunity, you want to put out your stronger side. Okay, there's obviously a couple of niggling injuries. They've been hit hard with injuries at lock and in the front row. So guys like Tyrell Lomax is out. In the locks, Tupovai and Patrick Tuipulotu is out. So let me know in the comments, what changes would you make? Who would you bring in? Who would you leave out? Let's get into some of the reasons why. So up front, Tamati Williams, Fletcher Newell, Cody Taylor. My first reasoning for this combo is that they all play together for the Crusaders. We saw how well it worked in that last game versus the Wallabies. Strong up front, cohesion, their gelling, their partnership, what they have there, really, really good. I think what Williams and Newell do off the ball for props is immense as well. They hit a ton of rucks, make a lot of tackles, got big engines on them. Tamati Williams' skills for those balls out the back that the props do catch, and very, very good. Then Cody Taylor is the Mount Rushmore of hookers at the moment. Him, Dan Sheehan, Malcolm Marks, he's up there. Cody Taylor, a Centurion All Black, goes without saying. I think his experience that he brings as well, being part of that leadership group. But then obviously I reckon the chat that he brings on a field, whether they're going good or not good, I think his chat there is paramount and is very important to their side. Obviously nails his role as a hooker. He's throwing in at lineouts, good on the edges of the field with ball carries, and gets through a ton of work. He's like having an extra centre, an extra back row on the field. Then my locks. Scott Barrett, Fabian Holland. Scott Barrett, captain. This partnership worked well against France. I think they only played 1 or 2 games together. Then Scott Barrett got injured. But I think it works well. So Scott Barrett, yes, there's been lots of question marks around. Is he even the best lock that the All Blacks have? Everyone's saying that Ardie Savia should be captain. Scott Robertson obviously sees something and knows a lot more than what meets the eye or what us as fans know. I personally think Ardie Savia should be captain. But at the moment now, with the locks being so depleted, with Tupovai out, Patrick Tuipulotu out, these are your two best locks All Blacks have at the moment. Scott Barrett, Fabian Holland. Fabian Holland's been one of the finds of the season. I think he's up there in the top 5 for breakthrough player of the year for internationally. And I think he gets a nod there. Obviously on the bench, then you've got Sam Darry. Josh Lord is potentially or an option there on the bench, but I like Darry a bit more than Josh Lord there. That might just be personal preference. Okay. Back row. Simon Parker, Artie Savia, Wallace Atiti. This could be up for massive debate. Obviously, Duplessis Karifi then on the bench as well. You've got guys like Peter Lakai. He's running around there. Luke Jacobson, Sammy Penny Fee now. They've got options. They definitely do have options. I think Artie Savia is locked in, for sure locked in there. Simon Parker's kind of worked his way into that 6 jumper where he got most of the caps in the Rugby Championship at 6. Obviously now with Tupovai not being considered with injury, I think he locks in that 6 jumper, bigger body, gets through a lot of the donkey work. And I've said this before, but what Simon Parker does on the field allows then someone like Artie Savia to focus more on his strengths. While Artie Savia can also do the donkey work and do a lot of the flashier stuff, Simon Parker hits the rucks, makes a ton of tackles. That allows Artie Savia to still do those things, but then he's got more energy to be a ball runner and come up with those crazy plays that we know he does, to be that support player. So he's not tied down to doing that donkey work. While he still does that, but it just gives him more energy and allows him to do that more. I hope that makes sense. Wallace Atiti at 8. Still trying to find his way back into the form that we saw him win the Breakthrough Player of the Year last year. Obviously, he had a horrific run with injuries. Peter Lakai is someone that they've used at 8 as well. But I think they go with Wallace Atiti here off the jump. We know what he can do. Man, let's help him get back to that form. Because when he's on, and he'll be up for it against Irish back rowers for sure. 9 and 10, this is also massively up for debate, especially at 10, but Cam Roigard, Damien McKenzie. Cam Roigard is an in. He's right now the best 9 in World Rugby. Right now, Cam Roigard. When he plays, when he's on the field, he's untouchable. He's untouchable. He's so good. He's always there. Whenever the ball's down and ready, he's there to pass it. His option taking is great. His passing has gotten so much better over the years. He's so hard to tackle in and around the rucks, always breaks the first defender or the first tackle. The support lines that he runs, just elite. And then Damon McKenzie at 10. I think Beauden Barrett hurt his shoulder, but I think he's obviously ready. He's back in the squad. I think they give Damon McKenzie a crack. Again, it's tough because you've got Richie Mwanga coming back. So it's almost like I feel like whoever plays 10 now until Richie comes back is just kind of plugging a hole. So you can go with either Damien or Beauden. You have arguments for both. You have pros for both. You have cons for both. But I think they go Damien. I think he just offers a little bit more in attack. While Beauden Barrett is a lot calmer, has been there, done that. Maybe you do need that. Again, that's probably the biggest one that's up for debate, but I've gone with McKenzie there. Kicks well off the tee, probably more reliable off the tee, and in tight games like this, you want that. You want that player on the field. Then in the centres, Geordie Barrett, Quinn Tupaia. We saw what Quinn Tupaia did when he came on in the first game versus the Wallabies, and then when he started in that second game versus Wallabies. Just the hard running, getting over the advantage line. I've got the ball. I'm running at you. Try and stop me. That was Quinn Tupaia, and he did that with aggression, with purpose, and All Blacks have missed that in the midfield. Geordie Barrett gives you a bit of that, but also gives you distribution, also gives you a big boot to exit, or if you have to nail a 60-meter penalty, he's that option. And just brings a bit of stability at 12. But I think they go with Quinn Tupaia at 13 here. Obviously, Billy Proctor still an option. Rico Ioane an option, but I've got him on the bench. I've got Beauden Barrett on the bench there. Then the back 3 of Lester Fainga'anuku, Leroy Carter, Will Jordan. It worked well. That last game versus the Wallabies in the Rugby Championship, and I think they go with that again. You've got like Sevu Reece, Caleb Clark, but I think Imoni Narrow-Eyes, he's still in there. I think he's still in the group, but what Leicester, I think, brings with ball in hand, oh man, he's an extra flanker, centre with pace of a winger. Him off first phase is just another option to get over that vantage line. Leroy Carter has shown as well what he can offer at international level. Fast, strong, explosive, good with ball in hand, just nugget. Strong defensively as well. And all those skills that he's learned from the sevens and that he's learned in Super Rugby has then carried over into international. Scoring tries. I think he scored a try in every game he's played. So a great strike rate there. And those two can then complement Will Jordan. Will Jordan, one of the best fullbacks in the game at the moment. Getting better and better with those contestable kicks and what he brings when injecting into the line on attack goes without saying. And then on the bench, you've obviously got Rico Ioane that can cover centre, wing. Boden Barrett can cover 10, fullback. Ratemar covers 9. Strong side, again, but like the All Blacks have had a strong side for a long time, but it's just not spilling over into a strong performance or a full 80-minute performance. That's probably the one thing. If All Blacks can nail a 80-minute performance, they'll be tough to beat, but they haven't got there yet. And that's probably their one thing that they'll focus on throughout this Grand Slam tour is let's put an 80-minute performance together. And if they do that, that'll go a long way in getting 4 from 4 or 5 from 5, whatever it is on this Grand Slam tour. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments what changes would you make. Hit that subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you next time.